Everyone, and welcome to the Workforce Attraction Retention Task Force. Just getting out of that meeting, going straight into this one, and we are excited today to finish up our recommendations as we move forward. Before we get started, we do need to take the roll. So, Sasha, if you would.
Senator Elkins.
Present.
Senator Funky Frommeyer. Senator Howell. Here. Senator Webb. Representative Branscombe.
Here.
Representative Cook. Here. Representative Pollock.
Here.
Representative Tackett Lafferty. Co-Chair Wise.
Present.
Co-Chair Duval.
Here.
Thank you so much. We do have a quorum duly constituted to do business today. First and foremost, I just want to give a great pat on the back and hats off to our staff for the work that they've done throughout this entire task force. And I'll say I've been a part of task force and working groups throughout my time here. I think this was one of the most substantive groups in terms of the information that we were able to obtain, all the presentations. And I want to thank every one of the members because we did this as listening to you all to give us feedback, to provide us information, to provide those topics, and we set the agenda based off each and every one of you all. So I want to personally thank you. Also, Co-Chair Duval, I think the first time he has had an experience co-chairing in his time here in the Kentucky General Assembly. I'll allow him to give some comments, but want to thank my co-chair for his work, his persistence, and everything he put forth. But once again, the staff, you all make this whole entire operation work. Thank you for the time, your energy, your commitment. Cannot thank each and every one of you. I'm not going to call you by name because I know what that'll do to leave someone out. But thank you so much. Co-Chair, your comments?
Absolutely. I echo your comments, Co-Chair Wise. This team has been absolutely amazing, and the LRC staff, you guys have, once again I said, hit a home run here. The details, the organizational efforts, this has been a flawless endeavor, and so thank you guys. I appreciate it.
I would like to entertain an open discussion by our members of the task force. As you see, the detailed information that was provided here, also by Brian Alvey on the House side, as well as Jeff Harmon, and the work once again by Janine McCoy and others. If you would, if you glance through that, you'll see a very good in-depth recap of everything we've done through this entire interim, as well as the end of our recommendations. So I would like to open up the floor for any discussions by any of our members based off the recommendations that we have before us that will go to both House and Senate leadership. Representative Cook.
Mr. Chair, I just, whoever worked on this, the team that worked on this, both chairmen, I know staff helped out on as well. You all did a pretty dang good job on this. So kudos.
Thank you. Any other comments based off the recommendations? Senator Funky Frommeyer.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I really have to echo what you shared. The content of each meeting was so meaningful and really gave such a east to west, north to south perspective of Kentucky. I've not yet seen that in my 2 years here, and I really appreciate it. The first bullet point that is on the recommendations, I don't know how to help assemble these different cabinets, but I privately shared, and I just want to publicly share, I was very surprised at the announcement at Keeneland by the governor on the rebranding of Kentucky to my new Kentucky home. I feel like that's a direct use of very precious taxpayer dollars, and we've assembled our precious time as a legislative body to put our heads on this, and how that didn't come to us as part of a solution on this war, this Workforce Attraction and Retention Task Force. I guess in some ways I'm a little astounded and am interested in understanding how we go from here. Capitalize what's already launched. It's already out there. Now what do we do with this?
Senator, I appreciate the comments. I think, once again, it looks forward to a partnership. We are wanting to reach out across and work with the executive branch. I think by many of these meetings, bringing some of their individuals in front of us and looking to have that continual liaison work. In terms of that announcement, as that was given, I don't know if any member up here was aware of what that was going to be, but we hope that in the future, that as legislative body, that we are included in those discussions as we go forward, and so that way we can be apprised of what may be on the horizon, because we only can work as well as all of us pulling together in the same direction. That's my personal comment on that as well. Once again, on these recommendations, remember that we simply are just sending these off to House and Senate leadership. There is nothing in terms of what is set in stone in here that will possibly turn into a legislation for this upcoming session. However, I think we've got some really good points that are made throughout here of some areas that we really can focus on, of trying to get some sound policy for both chambers to work on as we head into the 2025 session. Senator Elkins.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to say, this being my first task force, I appreciate the work that I know everyone put into this. I thought we heard from a wide group of people talking about the same thing, but I guess different ways to get to where we want to go. And I appreciate assembling those groups and having them present in front of us. Also, I'd like to reiterate what Representative Cook said. This is a pretty darn good draft we've got here, with a lot of good bullet points on it that we're going to recommend. I'm proud to have been a part of that, and I thank you for including me. Well done. Good job.
Thank you, Senator. Representative Pollock.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I echo what has been said thus far. It was really encouraging in this workforce task force that we thought outside the box on how we can use, whether it's recovery addiction, whether it's county jail people. Just total outlook was really interesting on what we could bring these different people to the table and getting people back to work. I do serve on the Government Contract Review Committee, and it's interesting whenever we look on that particular committee on the different contracts and the reviews of things, of how much dollars that are spent on evaluations and consultations and always looking at what we can do. And I just want to, as a committee here at the Workforce Task Force, that we and again, I echo everything that's been said thus far with the recommendations. Great job by everybody involved here. But we got these recommendations. What are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with them? And hopefully, I just want to send out a charge from our committee to say, hey, let's take some action. Let's get people back to work. We've got jobs here. We hear about all these jobs that are coming to Kentucky. So with this task force and the job we've done and looking outside the box, I say let's take charge of taking these recommendations and use them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative. See no further comments, and we do have some members that need to get to L&O. Do I have a motion to approve the memo? We have a motion made and a second. All those in favor of accepting the memo do so by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? And do we need a voice vote on this? That was the voice vote. Just making sure we didn't do it. Thank you all so much, gentlemen, as you make your way to committee. Thank you, staff, for your work on this, and we look forward to seeing some fruitful policy that can come out of the work that this task force has done. Thank you all for your attendance.